Good morning. I'd like to call us to order for the special meeting of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District Board of Directors, December 16th, 8:04 a.m. Roll call, please.
Present.
Here. Here.
Here, thank you. Director Chavajian, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Communications announcements from staff.
And it's fun and excitement. We will continue on afterward, determining what the next steps are, but something that you aren't aware of is currently.
Oh.
The ops team and maintenance team were stellar in the response. Super job. Safe.
Beyond repair.
Did any of our tenants have any issues with any of their hangars? I don't mean our tenants, but our subtenants, the other hangar owners.
Three hangers side by side. Two on the left of that wall were damaged beyond repair. The third one completely.
Well, you and I come from the Midwest, and we know how those
It's
winds,
like the tornado.
how they are. Yeah.
Did the doors, the carousel wasn't working on Saturday and the doors weren't working by baggage claim. Was that related to that too?
Okay.
It's decided not to work?
And Madam Chair, related to that, I do have an item, you've got it at your dais, to add an item to the agenda. And I'll just go ahead and read this. The following item came to the attention of the airport staff subsequent to the posting of the agenda for this December 16, 2024 meeting. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2, staff is requesting that the board take action to add this item to the agenda. And the item to add is a resolution of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District proclaiming the existence of an emergency condition due to impacts from the extreme weather events of December 14, 2024, and delegating decision authority to the executive director. And if we could add that as item G3, this does require a motion and a vote and a 4/5 vote of the board, which in this instance, since we have one absent, would mean 100% to add that to the agenda.
Right. And I can do that at this time.
Yes, we can
All right.
have a motion vote at this time.
I would entertain a motion to add item
So moved.
G3.
Second.
A first and a second. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
And again, Madam Chair, that doesn't approve the item, it just adds it to the agenda as item G3. We'll talk about it at G3 and then you can decide whether or not you'd like to approve it.
Perfect. Thank you. I do have one item, and that was a week and a half ago. Directors Chavajian, Miller, and myself attended the Carmel Chamber of Commerce annual business awards and installation of their new board members. And the Monterey Regional Airport was once again awarded in the category of best in its class of professional services. So that means that next year we will be up for business of the year. So we are in our own category this year, and then you move to the following year. So
Nice.
anyway, it was well received, and I have it in my car. I'll bring it in after the meeting. I meant to bring it in, but I was trying to find parking and ran a little late. So
Mhm.
anyway, but it was quite a nice evening. They did a really good job, and they had really nice things to say about the airport. So anyway, so thank you. Public comment for any item that is not on the agenda. Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to make a comment?
I see no hands, Madam Chair.
All right, I see none in the audience. I'm going to close public comment. And we'll go to the consent agenda. And we have on there 4 items. Would anyone like to pull an item from the public to discuss it? Anyone from the board? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
We have a first and a second on the consent agenda. A roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. All right. On our regular agenda, the first item is a resolution declaring the results of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District General Election held November 5th, seems like a million years ago, 2024, and the administration of oath of office. And so, Mr. Huber?
Sure. So, thank you, Madam Chair. So obviously every other year we have an election. This November 5th, we had one. 3 positions were up for election. And I do need to make one correction to the agenda item in the second paragraph under discussion. It says at the last sentence, Marianne Leffel was elected to office of District 1. That should be District 3. And Jonathan Amadi was elected to the office of District 3. That should be District 1. The resolution is correct, but the staff report had that switched around. But you are required to certify the election results, and then following the certification of the results, then we will hold a swearing in of the re-elected and newly elected officers.
All right. So I would entertain a motion on the results of the election that we are, what are we doing with them? That we are adopting them and declaring the results valid.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion from the public? Any discussion from the board?
Yeah, I would like to thank
We'll
Carol.
do that in a minute.
Okay. Well, it's discussion.
We will, roll call, please.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. All right, Director Miller.
Okay, well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Carol, for your tenure on the board, short as it was, but I mean, you attended every meeting, you came prepared, you asked appropriate questions, and you always voted for the greater good. So thank you for your interest in helping your community and this district, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would just second every word Carl just said. It's been a pleasure working with you. Thanks for stepping up and serving.
Hospitality is really interested in the airport, and we want to make sure we will stay involved.
And Carol, I want to thank you. It's been kind of a quick 6 months, but we had an opening and you were willing to step forward, and I think we all really appreciate that. And I think the people in your district should appreciate that. And anyway, I'm sure that we will stay involved because hospitality is such a big, important piece of of what we do here. So thank you very much. Now you can get part of your life back.
None of it.
And Madam Chair, if there's nothing else on, then I would invite you and Mr. Mahoney on board and be sworn in.
We will do that. Yeah, the sciatic problem today.
Mr. Rationale, I'll have Julie. And, yeah, you can see it. You will both please raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jonathan Motti,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
All right.
Now I move. Thank you. Now do I have to leave? Okay. Thank you. One.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, congratulations, you two. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And Madam Chair, just as an FYI, since Director Gagliotti was here, he will need to take the oath of office at a subsequent meeting.
Thank
Or
you.
a subsequent point in time.
Madam-
Settled?
Yeah, would it be possible to just say a
Sure,
quick word?
absolutely.
I want to say that I am humbled by the support of the community and feel the weight of the responsibility of this position. I want to thank all of you for taking the opportunity to meet with me and to talk about this position. I very much look forward to working with all of you and for the community in this role, and wanted to thank my family for being here to support me in this endeavor, and just wanted to say thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here.
You're here.
Thank you. And we welcome you and look forward to working with you. Item number 2 is the Monterey Fuel Company General Aviation Hangar Project Update. He's probably not used to us being this fast.
Well, be that. I'll give you
Tanks are finally and fully complete. Our permanent power installed last week. The fuel tanks are installed. Testing. So the entire project took about 18 months to complete. About 9 of which were waiting for PG to install. Appropriate switchgear and equipment. But we're pleased that they're finally online. The project is done. We'll go through the final closeout with Jet Center shortly. We are completely full. So I think there are a couple that are moving out. Jet Center maintains that wait list on those hangars. And they weathered the storm quite well. And, really, I think that's about it. I'm not sure there's much more that we can report out. Wish Matt was here to do a little bit more on the exact time frame for the fuel. The tanks are here, they're installed. They're probably a couple. Ready for use. Apologize for the brevity of the update, and I'm pinch hitting. Oh, yes.
See photos of them.
Yeah, yeah, okay. This is what we built. You recall we built 2 large 100 by 100 hangars, one of which is currently occupied by Cordero Aviation, maintenance firm. The other is being used by Jet Center under a month lease for aircraft storage. And then we built 24 small box hangars, which are on the airport's property. The airport owns those. They're managed by the Jet Center. 30 small aircraft heat hangars. Those are owned and operated and managed by Jet Center. So very, very similar to what we had on the south side with the replacement of what we built. They said they're 100% occupied. They have 3 restrooms where previously we didn't have that. And electric.
Thank you. Since I came on this board, I hated looking across that field at those porta potties. So that makes me so happy.
Yep. If you haven't been, this is Del Monte Aviation's remodeled lobby area. We finished that, I think, a month ago. Yeah. Spent about, from what Matt has told me, about $1.5 million on that. Very well done.
Hmm.
By the way, before you go, the electric blue pictures you see there, that is actually a live shot of the jellyfish aquarium at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
In the
And-
men's room.
Yeah, in the men's room. Yeah, when I was there last, it has never happened before. I walked in, they said, "Have you been in the men's room yet?" I said, "How did you know I needed to use the restroom? I had no idea." And I walked in and they didn't tell me that surprised me when I walked in. I thought, wow, it is really impressive. It is floor to ceiling, LED screen from wall to wall and floor to ceiling. It's amazing.
Okay.
Fuel. 100 low lead and unleaded will be new addition to the airport and to the industry as they phase out 100 low lead completely to unleaded fuel.
Nice.
To accommodate fuel flow.
Great.
Fuel, here's the punch list items. Fuel farm is installed. Fuel delivery will be, first fuel delivery is the 20th of this month. And there's your estimated in-service date, which is just before Christmas. Merry Christmas to all.
Mhm.
Air tie downs, they're permitted, they've been installed, or they're scheduled to install 12 of those. And it's Jet Center's responsibility. But we did permit. And we did get from power. The temporary power lines for be removed. This would break.
So,
That's it.
That's it.
There you go.
Nice.
So I'm not as eloquent as Matt, right? I thank him for preparing.
And thank you for the pictures. It's really
Yeah,
great.
Nice to see.
So now both of our FBOs are spectacular. So it's very good. Open it up to the public. Any comments on this item?
And I see no hands raised, Madam Chair.
All right, I'll bring it back to the board.
Madam Chair.
Nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Director Pick,
Nothing.
Director Amati?
yeah, just a quick question. You did mention that we're moving completely to unleaded fuel. What's the timeline for that transition? Have they given you some kind of idea as to when that might be?
If I could, one of the big problems is some of the engine manufacturers are working to certify the engines for the unleaded fuel use. And they're finding that they're gonna need to maybe swap out some components in
Mhm.
engines, and so they're trying to dial in the process. You know, while this is axiomatic, if you have a problem in the air, you can't just pull over like you can in a car, and so that they want to make sure that when this switchover does happen, that people will be able to rely on the unleaded fuel. And pilots are anxious for it because you have a lot less, carbon deposits in the engine, and the overhaul times are anticipated to be extended by quite a bit. So everybody wants it to happen, but it's got to happen safely.
Thank you.
Director Miller?
Just a couple quick questions. Any interest in our 100 by 100 hangar?
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary. So we do get a monthly report from the broker. They have a lot of people that they've contacted. We've had some soft interest, and we've also had some interest from some users that would be inappropriate. So we're being selective, and in the meantime, we do have it leased to the Jet Center on a month-to-month basis. So, but we're getting $9,000 a month in cash flow there.
And our 3 displaced people because of the storms, what are we doing to help them? Okay.
Still assessing. There was some damage to the aircraft, although completely not.
Oh, yeah, the building falls. Mhm.
At this point, that's when I'll probably be able to offer it.
Yeah. And the plan isn't to repair those?
I think at least 2, probably 5, beyond repair. These are old port hangars.
Yeah, I do.
Not well constructed to begin with. Not something that would be worth repairing. Probably replacing.
Mhm. Did we have any planes that were overturned or anything because of the storm? I know there were talks on social media that the ropes weren't working to as tie downs and we're recommending chains or?
Are always an option. With you folks. I think you're paying for everything's previously.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Well, all I can say is now that both of our FBOs are complete, I expect we'll see the number one FBO again soon. Yeah. They've both been number one at various times, and now that they're both completely remodeled and ready to go, imagine we'll see that again. Thank you. And actually, thanks for the photos because it really does let us see that fueling station. I don't know that I had visualized what it looked like, so that's great. Number three. So we've voted to add on the new item, which is resolution of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District proclaiming the existence of an emergency condition due to impacts from the extreme weather events of December 14th, 2024, and delegating decision authority to the executive director. So did you want to comment anything more on this,
Sure.
either of you?
Yeah, so public contracting code requires that when you do, public works projects that you go out to bid for certain items and there are bidding requirements. If it's below a certain threshold, you can just do, informal bids or you can get free bids. Over a certain amount, it requires bidding. We don't know exactly what we have yet. And so what this declaration of emergency really does is it puts those bidding requirements on hold temporarily, only so you can deal with the immediate aftermath. For example, we have pieces of metal strewn all over the place, some of them even off airport property. We may have to contract with somebody on a short-term basis and quickly to do cleanup. And we don't know exactly what that means at this moment. And so that does not get rid of the requirements that items within the spending or over the spending authority of the executive director would necessarily need to come to the board. But all it does is the biggest piece is it suspends the bidding requirements temporarily, only temporarily. And then when this is done and we can take our time doing the rebuild or whatever is determined there, then of course, then we then withdraw the declaration of emergency. I don't anticipate this will be in place very long and it may not even be used, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And so I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. But this is again, a declaration of emergency based on the events of the last weekend on Saturday.
All right. I'll open it up to the public for comment. I see none. I'm going to close public comment and bring it back to the board. Director Pick.
Thank you, Chair. Scott, I appreciate the laydown. I think this is actually fairly standard in a situation where there's disaster. Hopefully we don't need it, but if we do, it's good to have in place. Just want to confirm that it remains in place until the board rescinds it.
That's correct.
Okay.
It does.
Madam Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you. Director Mahdi.
So can you just restate, you had mentioned that there was the costs still need to be approved by the board. You just don't have to go out to bid.
That's correct. And it doesn't get rid of any of the labor code requirements pursuant to prevailing wage or anything like that. It only suspends temporarily the bidding requirements.
Understood. No further questions.
Director Miller.
Has there been a state or federal disaster declared as a result of this?
I looked this morning and I didn't see one. And I give you that caveat. I haven't seen one. I'm quite sure that Santa Cruz County may declare one from what happened in Scotts Valley, but I really don't know.
If it is declared in Monterey County, does that open any financing for us to cover some of our losses?
Not necessarily. I think I mean, it could, in the event that it was a larger scale, if you had, for example, FEMA dollars that were injected into the local community, the declaration of emergency, even your local declaration of emergency will then open the door for those funds should they become available. But you do have insurance coverage for most of this, and as part of the lease for all of the hangars, we require that the tenants carry insurance as well. So I think you're covered for this event one way or another. It's just where will that responsibility lie?
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
And that was my question on if we were eligible for any federal dollars if there was a declaration. So I think it's straightforward and I don't have any problem with it.
Sorry, I did have one extra question.
Okay.
So I just thought of something else.
Okay, go ahead.
Are there a set of preferred vendors, for example, that if there's not a bidding process, how would you go out and find the people to do the work that you're looking for?
Staff will go out and find qualified people. For example, for disaster cleanup, whatever the component is that they need, whether it's environmental or whether it's, junk removal or again, whatever the disaster cleanup is, they'll find experts in that field.
Scott, can I speak to that too?
Please,
So
please.
annually, we go out to the community under our Uniform Construction Code Act and ask for anyone that's interested in doing work for anything. So we keep a list, and that list then tells us what they're certified to do, what contract licenses they have. So we do that annually, and we do have a list. So we would work from that list and look at anyone. If it's demo, we look at anyone on that list that is licensed to do demolition, and we go from there. So it's
Fantastic.
something we do annually.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I would entertain a motion on resolution number 1894.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. Okay. At this time, we will go to board reports. And we had multiple board reports in the package. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to address any of those reports? All right, I'll bring it to the board. Is there anyone that had any questions or has any comment on any of the reports in the package?
Nope.
Director Amati? Okay, Director Pick?
No, ma'am.
Director Miller?
No.
All right. We'll move on. The standing committees. Do any of you have any questions from any of the standing committees? Okay. I see none. We're going to address the personnel committee in closed session. And we had no conferences. I reported on the event that we attended, which was in our favor. I think we'll go to closed session. Thank you all for attending.
Right.